who can he go and talk to? But I'm trying to think of a similar bowler or all rounder in Sri Lanka. Who can he go and talk to? Someone like Upul Chandana or Lokwarachi?
Take out the media attention out of what has happened, but I think this is the right way where DDS, if he's coming into 11, has to
Hmm.
come fighting in that top 4
Yeah.
spot.
Welcome back, everyone. We are recording this after Sri Lanka's defeat against New Zealand in the first one-day international. It's a Saturday here. That's when we normally do our things around the house. And I watched our bowling bit, then went out to do a couple of things. And by the time I come back, we were all out for 76. Bora, I'm trying to think what happened. What just happened, Bora?
Yeah, I think most of the Sri Lankan boys are a bit shell-shocked as well in that camp. The game just got done and dusted very quickly. Not a lot to write home. I think a below par performance, but I think a bit of media attention around just in the lead up to the game around DDS,
Mm,
where the media circulation was he doesn't want to bat at 7, hence he's not being picked. Then DDS comes out and say,
yeah,
look, not a
no
scenario
such
like that.
thing.
So there's a bit of confusion around that. The guys went in with a team which looks all right on paper.
Right.
I think that's a good way to go about it because you got Charmik and Wanidu as the all-rounders in the team, and then you got the batters up at the top who needs to deliver with the job. So I think don't know whether it was as a result of what happened around DDS. But when you look at that team, not a bad combination, just the batting didn't deliver. So um, with the ball, uh, Charmika got a 4 for, so
Yeah.
he did perform as an all-rounder there, not the half-baked one. So, but in terms of the result, bit surprising to be honest, that the gap was such big.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. You backed Charming to play in the 11. I remember last time we spoke, we put out the tweet asking our listeners to send their playing 11s, and I picked a team. I didn't pick Charming in it, Gora. I picked,
Yeah,
and I didn't pick the Dishan Madhusanka in it. I was expecting DDS to play and Deekshana to play at number as the second spinner. Dilshan Madhushank didn't have a good game. First couple of overs went for 20 plus, and his comeback spell wasn't the great as well.
yeah.
But all the other three fast bowlers bowled well. But Madhushanka came back. Like he went for about 40 in his first 4 overs. Then he came back and bowled finished 8 overs for 58 runs and took a wicket. Three
Yeah.
other fast bowlers, Rajitha, Lahir Kumar, and Charmika obviously took 4 wickets. They bowl well. Dasun had to bowl a few because Madhushanka went for runs. It's hard not to notice Vanidu Asaranga wicketless and has gone for runs again. He didn't take a wicket in India. He hasn't taken a wicket in 2023, Bora. So you're a spinner. What's going on? Easy T20 specialist only now. I'm starting to wonder what he has to do to get this right. I mean, otherwise, all the teams will target him, go after him, and he's not picking us wickets, so he's not bowling those tight overs as well. So
Think he needs to book a flight to meet his IPL coach, where they did a bit of spin work out there, so that now just to get back into things. What I'm referring more is I think he needs to go back to who he feels comfortable with working. I'm just referencing an IPL coach, but I think someone at home where he feels a few things he needs to work on because two tough tours, India, New Zealanders tend to have a bit of a hit on your confidence, and you need to come out of that rut. He's been playing a lot of cricket, circuit cricket around. So in T20, sometimes you don't see your form just drop, even though you might get away with a wicket or two, but you don't. What you got to keep an eye out is your economy rates, that could have an effect on your bowling. So he probably has to go back and have a look whether that's played a factor. Because in the one-day format, we do see that the performances are not showing up. So back to the drawing board in terms of how he wants to prep about it, and got to keep putting in the volume to make that change. Playing games, I mean, for me, it was more volume, I think, but I guess even with you'll refer more volume, getting behind to fix
Yeah.
up a few things. But also, I think it's that second voice, so that second, the person, people he trusts, that close group of mentors or coaches around him, he trusts to help him come out of that rut.
Mm.
It's going to help him through this phase now.
Yeah.
But you're right. It's, I mean, I knew it was going to be a tough one. That's why I said, look, especially like for him coming out here, he'll want to be on top. But you could see how from the if you take the New Zealand point of view as well, they didn't go into a shell thinking it's Wanidu Hasaranga. They actually wanted to take
No,
him on.
no.
So um,
I know
they
it's short, straight boundaries, but they just back themselves to, hit him out of the ground.
yeah, correct.
Um,
So,
who can he go and talk to? But I'm trying to think of a similar bowler or all rounder in Sri Lanka. Who can he go and talk to? Someone like Upul Chandana or Lokuarachi? I'm trying to think like,
yeah, depends who he's been working out because like the two names you said, they've been Loku Arache is out here in Melbourne. So
hmm,
but Chandana been in the under 19s or part of coaching groups throughout his career now. But Vanidu, I think, has always had been unique action and he's worked with
yeah,
some of his domestic coaches. So just having that close contact running through. I remember when I reference the IPA because Sriram actually ran through a few scenarios where they worked on his skill technical adjustments they did. So that was more focus driven. So I'm sure he'll have close connections where he can reach out to them if he wants to make that adjustment and go from there. That's the way I see it. He's in the limelight now because now we got Matish Deekshana out of the 11 with fighting for one
yeah.
spinning spot. It comes down to fighting for a spot between Vanidu.
No, you're absolutely right. We got two more games to go. We
Yeah,
can't, we'll have to play the qualifiers now anyway. So they might as well make a couple of changes and try to win the
yeah,
series, right? But we'll have to
yeah.
stick, maybe we'll have to stick with the batting lineup for the next game, or unless DDS comes into the team. I don't see any other changes. If DDS comes, maybe Dilshan Madhusanka goes out. What do you think? Same team or?
Yeah, you're right. And I mean, take out the media attention out of what has happened, but I think this is the right way where DDS, if he's coming into 11, has to
Hmm,
come fighting in that top four
yeah.
spot. So then the people under the microscope will be um, Nuanidu, Charita Salanka, and even Kusal Mendes. He'll hold his spot, but those are the three batting spots where DDS should slot into. Anywhere lower would mean that because he's not a guy who's gonna muscle attacks out of it. He'll want to be
He's a
batting through an attack. So he
he's
should
accumulator, isn't he?
basically
Yeah.
correct. I think the more direct spot he's competing with is Charita Salanka. Charita Salanka
Hmm.
and DDS. Probably Charit gets away with it because he's a left-hander and being the only left hand in the batting order that we've got. So kind of it help his case a bit more. But um, that's where I see himself, and because if they make that change after two games, I think it's a fair assessment to know, hang on, the batter hasn't scored, we need to make that swap. I think when I refer at DDS, I mean, if DDS was a batsman who was very young coming through the ranks, like a Kamidu Mendis, take for example, would be a good number 7. Dhananjaya De Silva has a lot more to deliver by being that top order player. And he's at a space where you want him. It's a case where, like, even a Dilshan back in the day when he was batting that 6-7 spot,
Hmm.
said, look, I want to be a top order player. I want to be there. He went out of the team, came back as a opener,
Yeah,
and
he
his
scored
career
tons of
is
runs in domestic.
tons of runs.
Yeah.
So there is a case in that aspect, and DDS has that quality to be that top order player. There is things around it because especially because we've been in the Sri Lanka cricket circles, you kind of know the hype around it. There are a lot of strings attached to this, which likes to
Yeah.
trigger. So if you take it from a captaincy point of view, there's a trigger. If you take it from a selection point of view, there's a trigger because there are at the moment you're not sure who's the selector.
Hmm.
And from even it could be from a coaching point of view as well. So there are certain triggers that are triggering at the moment. We don't know, but from an outside point of view, the hype that is being created, it's not good for the team environment. This is again, if you wind back 2 to 3 years ago, where this noise seems to creep in, we
Yeah.
are slowly coming into that circle again now.
This always happens when we don't have a very strong batting lineup. No one is making big runs, yet we have all these things happening behind the scenes, so which is not ideal because we are heading into a World Cup and we don't need this at this moment. Yeah, so try to win the next couple of games, and because
Yeah.
we've done well, especially the bowlers done well in this tour, Bora. So just have to. I mean, we have a chief chairman selector who used to say when the batsmen fail, bowlers get dropped. So I feel bad for Dilshan Madhusanka if he miss out the
Goes
next
out of the
game.
window.
Yeah, well, yeah, the chairman selector when he was playing, he used to say like on tour, batsman doesn't make runs and the bowlers get dropped from the next tour. So I hope he,
Yeah.
yeah. Anyway, that's
Also, this match was the first time where, I mean, the request was to strengthen the middle order. That's where we went back to the likes of Angelo Matthews because we knew he could accumulate and hold that order. Meant there was going to be a shuffle of the batting order where someone had to give. So in this case, it happened to be DDS. But I still think there are batters around him that are struggling. So
yeah,
not sure. Need to check, have a look at Charith SriLanka's record. I think he's under the he's getting the limelight on him soon.
yeah.
Kusal Mendes again keeps
Mm.
scrapping away. We need that good knock against the top side, especially as your number 3 bat. In one day cricket, number 3 or your top 3 pretty much sets up games to win you. So till we sort our top 3 out properly, there's no point looking at the 5, 6, 7s because they're just trying to save space a bit more there. How do we go about it? If Sri Lanka one day teams have always been top heavy performers. That helps us push and win games. I mean, modern cricket, it's like that. You got Indians, you got the Sharmas, Kohlis at top 3 scoring runs.
Jill. Yeah,
Yeah, and for us, we need that top order scoring runs.
yeah, big hundreds. We keep an eye on that. We'll talk about it after the second one day international. I like when Sri Lanka plays this side of the world, Bora, because we can watch the full game. We're not watching it early in the morning or late in the night.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's about it. This was a quick catch up to have a chat about the first one day international. Unless you have anything to add.
Not a lot. Pretty similar to how the Sri Lankan Indians wrapped it up. We might as well wrap it up pretty quickly here.
All right. Hopefully we'll win the second one and go on to win the third and win the series. Thanks for listening to us. Thanks for all the comments on Twitter, especially the listeners who posted their teams. There was some interesting ideas shared and lots of people replying to that. So thanks for that. We like that engagement. Maybe we'll try to pick a team for the second one-day international as well, Bora. So we'll see who gets it right.
Yeah.
All right.
Too early to make a prediction, but I reckon there might be one spot that will rotate around. So
yeah, I'm guessing
generally
too.
when you lose a game, there'll be a spot that rotates around. So
I'm guessing too. We might be
all right.
surprise. All right.
Okay.
All right. Thanks for listening. We'll catch up soon.
Cheers, everyone.
All right. Bye bye.